Hey world, what's going on? Happy Friday! Celebration, Financial Freedom Friday. It's a good day, guys. I hope you're having a beautiful time as well. We have another gorgeous day here in sunny Vermont. Let me show you. See this? Look at this. It's just God's country, I'm telling you. Anyway, I have my hair up. I don't know if I like the way I look, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. No, I'm not. I've got my little thingy to make me look like a spring queen. I wanted to talk today a little bit about, I went on a webinar with Mark Hoversons today, and he was talking about a divine refresh. And, I got a lot out of it, and I wanted to touch base with my big takeaway here. So if you come in this, go ahead and send me some love buttons and let me know where you're watching from and so forth. But for those of you that are catching the replay, I'm not going to sit here and wait for people to show up. I just always find that really weird. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to get to the juice. So anyway, like yesterday, I talked about how our opinions of ourselves and our own self-love and how we take care of ourselves reflects on how prosperous we are in our business and our family and our relationships and whatnot. And that was actually his third point today. Hello, Sandraji. That was his third point today. And I was really excited because I felt aligned with it, And Mark Hoversons, if you don't know who he is, he's one of the most profound business philosophizers in the world. And he's my number one mentor kind of guy. I have tremendous love for him and what he teaches, and just things about him just blow my mind. And I did post that the webinar went live as well on Facebook, and I have it on my personal page. Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. And I see great blessings for him. I do. I see healing for him, and I just love him to pieces. But the thing is, the first thing that he talked about was celebration, celebrating the advancements in your life and your family's life, your friends' lives. And that's a big thing. That's a big deal, and that's something that Friday tends to be a big day for that, It's actually something that they encourage in rank makers, which is really awesome. And we also, in my own team, we have financial freedom when we celebrate our freedoms because of the amazing business that we're in. And these are good practices. The thing is, the second thing that he talked about, the second point for divine refresh, really just blew my mind. And it's, of course, none of it's new news. All of us know these things. It's just sometimes we learn it again, or we hear it from someone else, and it just makes a bigger impact. And it's really good advice for my life. So I'm thinking it might be really good to talk about it with you, because if it feels that way for me, it just might touch you the same way. And he was talking about how yesterday, he's got a lot of family hanging around, and things were a little chaotic yesterday, and he found himself being really hard on two of his children, and he didn't like it, and he felt like he was in hell. That's the words he said. And then he was like, oh, I have to fix this. I have to make right with this. And he brought his children aside, the two that he was giving a really hard time to, and he talked to them, and he uncovered his sins, is the words he used. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So it's a lot about making amends, and I noticed in my own life, this has been kind of an amends kind of week. I reconnected with a friend that I've known for a long time, since I moved to New York when I was in first grade. And in high school, we were really super tight, and we just haven't been. And I had all sorts of resentments and angers and issues with her. And that really carried on and carried on. I'm now 46 years old. I'm going to be 47. Yeah, that's right. I hope so. I don't want to be 48 yet. And the thing that she moved up to Vermont, and she's been here for a couple of months, and I ignored her phone calls because I was like, whatever, schmever. And we finally got in touch. I talked to my other friend, Stephanie. I talked about her yesterday. And she was like, she's living up there. And I was like, what? So I made sure to get in touch. And we got in touch, and we actually hung out. She came here, and we had a really wonderful time. And I literally uncovered all the sins. Like, I sat down with her. Hey, you, what's happening? You really inspired me today, Mark, and I can't tell you enough how much I love you. I can't. Katie and I sat down, and I talked to her about the things that I was upset about, and she talked to me about the things that she was upset about. And, you know, holding those kind of resentments for things that you just can't keep doing that, because it hurts your soul, and it hurts everything. Like, since we sat down in this past week, I feel like my life has just changed. I feel so much more empowered. And I was able to not only make forgiveness with her, but really the sin that was committed was my own sin of holding that resentment and not fixing it sooner and not saying something sooner. And I'm really happy that that happened. And I really think that I really want you to go back and watch Mark's webinar from today. It just touches my entire soul. And today, I'm going to request that you sit down and you think about some things that maybe have been bothering you. Maybe there's something that happened this morning. Maybe there's something that happened yesterday. Maybe something that you've been carrying around for you for years. And kind of just look at it and get a little soft around it. You know, you don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to be upset. But you do have to deal with it, and you have to give it over. Okay? Now, I don't know if you know, everybody that's watching this is a believer in God, or if you're a Christian or whatnot, whatever. But even if you don't think there's a higher power, then you must at least recognize your own godlike state in your own body, and just realize that if you don't uncover those sins that we commit against ourselves and each other, to at least yourself, you are having some trouble. And Mark pointed out something that doing this is not necessarily something you do alone. So once you've recognized that and you've come to some sort of term with it, go out there and make the amends with the other person, whether they know it or not, have been involved with that. So, like, Katie didn't know what she did wrong, or didn't know, what did she even do anything wrong? I don't know. You know, like, Katie didn't know what had happened and didn't know how I was dealing with it because I never told her. And it was my fault that was carried on and on and on. It was a really beautiful thing to get it straight and let it out and tell her how I felt. Because, you know, I've been friends with her for a long, long time. And we haven't always been the best of friends. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but she's important to my life. She's important to my life. And it's going to benefit me and her in every way, in our relationships with other people, in our relationships with our money, with our relationships with our businesses and our jobs, and everything, in our family. And it really comes to this crazy point, because especially this is Father's Day weekend, right? You know, and my father passed, and I was lucky enough to have made some sort of amends with him and connect with him before, you know, it was all gone. It didn't end on the best note, but it's okay. I feel good about it. I'm all right. The only time that I wish I could hang out with him, you know, be like, oh, I wish I could tell Dad about this, is like, I like to research Bigfoot and whatnot. You know, I would love to talk to him about that. But otherwise, you know, it's okay. We made our amends and we were able to move forward. And it doesn't have to be about, you know, whether or not you're able to connect with somebody from the past. It's about connecting with the people you're with right now, too. So, you know, like, my mom and I live together, and she's getting up in age, and sometimes that's really hard. And sometimes I don't react to it well. And I get all, and that's my own thing, and that's my sin. And I know that just being a little softer about it, not you know, like, come on, Tara, you really got to be so mad? You know, you're not the one that's going through that like that. So, with that being said, I hope that this made some sense. It might make much more sense if you watch the video from Mark. It's over on my business page, on my personal page, and I will put it in the comments or maybe in the description of this so that you can access it really quickly. Because it was one of the best talks I've ever been the pleasure of even being in front of Mark at all. I just really, one of the best. The amount of wisdom that comes out of this man is just unbelievable. It's so beautiful. It's like a spiritual connection, you know. And when we were talking yesterday about honoring your own opinion of yourself, and I described a leader in the network marketing space, and how because he doesn't love himself that he's ruining everything and he'd rather burn it all down. Mark is the exact opposite of that. Mark is facing challenges, and instead of becoming someone that wants to be angry and burn it all down, he keeps continuing to touch us. And he keeps continuing to spread the word and to be of value. And his legacy is unbelievable. It's huge. It's giant. And I would encourage you that you may consider to be more like Mark. And take the time and watch that webinar. Take the time to study a little bit about some of the things that he says, because it will bless your life. It'll bless your business. It'll bless your family. And it's going to just, I know it, you know, I just feel it, you know. So the difference between people that do not love themselves and do not take the time to uncover their sins, they're the type of people that become delusional and psychotic. The people that do become a gift. And that's the kind of person I want you to be. And that's the kind of person I want to be. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys coming on. Oh gosh, I just love you to pieces, Mark. And I really appreciate the amount of support you give us. It can't be beat. So with that being said, if you got value from this, share it. I'm going to put the link to that right in the description when I get done making this and I edit it. So this way you all can access the wisdom of Mark Hoverson. I love you very much. You have a beautiful day. Thank you.